Then become even more handsome. If you can impress beautiful girls, if you can say love words better, please tell her as well, but please remember not to take the initiative. Let the beautiful girl shout out on her own, handsome Tokyo guy who speaks sweet words, I must have you. You are mine. This is the story of a young man from Iwate Prefecture becoming a handsome man in Tokyo. Keywords of the novel. My girlfriend is Miss Evil with no pop-ups, my girlfriend is Miss Evil with full download of TXT, and my girlfriend is Miss Evil with the latest chapter reading. Chapter 1. Starting the game 15 years later. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. Starting the game 15 years later. DD, system activation, game starts. Players and objects who achieve friendliness can receive point rewards. The object must meet the system's recognized standards. Please click on the attachment for details. Complete temporary activities, purchase additional special items, encourage players to actively participate. Panel. Activated, mall. Activated, loading completed. Wish you a pleasant game, reasonably arrange time and pay attention to self-protection. Beware of being deceived and make sincere friends. Stay away from the firewood knife, painted black. Watanabe stared intently at the blackboard, and suddenly a light blue, almost transparent panel popped out of the math teacher's cursive handwriting. He blinked and lowered his head to write in his notebook. The ways to represent sets are enumeration and description. Pada, the pen refill is broken, and a small piece of lead powder has blacked out the pure white notebook. Watanabe pressed the tail of the pencil, but the lead did not come out. He took out a spare zero from the pencil case. Insert a 5mm lead core into the tip of the pen like a needle, and then fill in the descriptive method on the notebook. During this period, the light blue almost transparent panel has been in his line of sight. Awakening the system until now. Don't you feel like it's too late? Watanabe was reborn in a remote village where the bus only took 2 hours to arrive. At the age of kindergarten, he finally gave up unrealistic fantasies such as system, awakening stunt doubles after being shot by an arrow, aliens, future humans, superpowers, etc. He decided to study hard. In that village, including a school with only 5 teachers, Watanabe worked hard to self-study and took the entrance exam for this private school located in Tokyo. He was admitted with the 3rd highest score in the school. His next life goal is the Tokyo Higher Education Institute. After graduation, take the civil servant recruitment test and let taxpayers support themselves for a lifetime. But now, despite having worked hard for a long time, planning for the future, and being prepared to endure hardship, the system has arrived. If you want to come early, why don't you come? What's going on if you can't come up or down? Watanabe finished his math class seriously. Fortunately, this panel wouldn't affect his vision, otherwise he would really be angry. The last time he was angry was yesterday when he was informed by the class leader that students at this school must join the club and are not allowed to leave early. I wish I had gone to the neighboring Guangming private school. The female student is wearing a super cute sailor uniform, and students can also join the homecoming department. The more Watanabe thinks, the more depressed she becomes. From this, it can be concluded that no matter how many times one starts over in life, there will always be regrets. Those who claim that starting over can leave no regrets in life, Watanabe Kiyoshi can bluntly say. They are all scammers or stupid people with poor memory. Mathematics class is the last class in the morning. Just as the teacher announced the end of the class and the classroom was still maintaining the quiet atmosphere of class, Shio Guijing shouted loudly. Watanabe. Saito. Let's go eat. The math teacher, who was about to leave the classroom, gave a disgruntled look through his reading glasses to Shio Guijing. You guy, can you keep your voice down? Isuke Saito laughed and scolded, and then said. What to eat today? Fixed food. Ramen noodles. Or bread. Ramen noodles. Okay, let's decide to eat bread. Saito, you guy, come and fight, oiler. Big wood, big wood, big wood. Damn it, they all caught me. Look at me haunted by evil spirits. It's not enough, Shio. Eat my hell burial hand knife. Hey, my neck. Huijia, why are you still taking action? You promised not to physically attack. Watanabe Chei closed her textbook, stood up, and walked out of the classroom with her classmates, who were staring at them. These two people are friends made by Tetsuya Watanabe in a private school. They usually eat together, discuss animations, comics, light novels, beautiful women, and so on. On Saturdays and Sundays when Watanabe Chei doesn't work, he will also make plans to come out and play. At the cafeteria, the three finally ordered a 400 yen grilled meat order. Grilled meat, grilled mushrooms, salad, rice, and miso soup. Are you going to play Video Game City after school today? Said Guijing Shio with a big mouth as he planed rice. I can do it, Keisuke Saito nodded. By the way, Watanabe, are you going to work after school on Wednesday? It should have been like this. Watanabe Chei took a bite of the grilled meat and felt the taste was average. Originally. Did something happen? Asked Keisuke Saito. Is it a date? Has it finally arrived? This day. Koi Shio let out a mournful cry. Watanabe is going to become the first man among the three of us. Saito Keisuke turned his head curiously and looked at Watanabe Chei, saying, Is that so? Who is the other person? Which class? How does he look? It's nothing like that. Koizumi gave me the order to join the club today. This thing. Cut it, it's boring. Guijing Shio continued to dig into the rice, and only after the meal was finished did he start eating grilled meat and salad. This guy is strange enough. Saito Keisuke said, Do you want to come to the computer research department? Although there are no cute girls, you can play many games for free. Come to the baseball department, Watanabe, let me lead you into the Koshien and become the star of tomorrow, said Takashi Koi with great momentum. Watanabe Chei said calmly, Aren't you still delivering water and towels to the seniors yourself? This is only temporary. The minister secretly told me that he will let me participate in training next week. Is that right? Watanabe Chei felt that the salad was okay, and the vegetables were fresh enough. Hey, I'm serious. The minister really told me this. Alright, it's so noisy, said Saito Keisuke as he picked up his bowl and took a sip of soup. After finishing lunch, there is an hour's lunch break. Previously, the three of them would gather together to chat, but today Watanabe Chei decided to go to the club first to take a look. Shall we go with you? Said Keisuke Saito. No need, Watanabe Chei waved her hand. You guys go back to the classroom first. That's good. After separating from the two, on the way to the club building, Watanabe Chei took the time to study the system. The words panel and mall are highlighted. He tried to open the panel with his mind and it went smoothly. Character. Watanabe Chei, Intelligence. 7. Charm. 8. Physical strength. 3. Item. None, skill. None, points. 100, money. 154650 yen, the average is 5 points. At first glance, I have a smart and correct mind, and I look very handsome. It's not a problem to be trapped by a girl for a long run. In terms of skills, until now, Watanabe Chei has indeed not discovered any strengths. He opened them all again. Item. Detector, original price. 1000/special price. 100, money. 100 yen/1 point, intelligence. 1 point/1000000 points, charm. 1 point/10,000 points, physical strength. 1 point/5,000 points, skills. Beginner. Writing, 100, mastery. Drawing, 1000, mastery. Cooking, 10,000, Master. Fishing, 100000, with only 100 points, it looks like it's for buying a detector for some unknown purpose. Watanabe searched for another full minute and finally found the transparent, supplementary provisions, menu button that was almost indistinct. This kind of routine clearly has rules for cheating players. Supplementary provisions, 1. The death of the player has nothing to do with this game and there is no obligation to resurrect. Disability can be repaired, please explore the path yourself. Watanabe looked at this clause and fell into deep thought. 2. Before each strategy target, it is recommended to use a detector to check if it belongs to the strategy target. Detectors can be purchased in the mall. 3. Add a monthly item purchase option. 4. Money has no exchange limit and can be used with peace of mind in reality. 5. After 10 points of intelligence, charm, and physical strength, the redemption points will double and increase. 6. Skills are randomly refreshed at the end of each month. 7. Each time a skill is refreshed, there is one entry-level skill, one mastery level skill, one mastery level skill, and one master level skill. The price remains unchanged. 8. The entry-level skills correspond to the graduation level of general higher education students, the mastery level corresponds to industry personnel, the mastery level corresponds to industry elites, and the master corresponds to the extreme level of human beings. 9. When exchanging intelligence, players need to choose the specific knowledge or skills they need to excel in, such as choosing painting. The player will become a peerless genius in painting, with a possibility of exceeding the master level limit. 997. Players have an obligation to keep this game confidential. 998. Considering the spirit of basic human rights, players are free to choose whether to conquer. 999. After a successful strategy, all consequences are borne by the player themselves. 1000. All interpretation rights belong to this game. Densely packed with 10 pages, in order to finish reading, Watanabe stood foolishly on the corridor between the teaching building and the club building for more than 10 minutes. After watching it carefully, Watanabe can be considered to have a rough understanding of this game. The target of the strategy is to make the other person sincerely agree to be friends with him, and then he can earn game points. And game points can almost do everything you want. Of course, it requires a bit of luck. To see if the skills you brush are powerful enough and if they are what you want. This is forcing players to be scumbags. Watanabe didn't know what to say about this game, but with the mentality that there was no punishment anyway and trying it wouldn't hurt, he exchanged it for a detector. Detector. Information can be viewed 3/3 times. A female student happened to pass by Watanabe and clicked to use it. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Human Observation Department. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. Human Observation Department, Character. Kobayashi-bu, Charm. 5 Pass. Undoubtedly, it is a realistic game that places great emphasis on appearance. Watanabe put away the panels and walked to the shop window under the club building. On Friday, April 25th, the playing department will perform in the auditorium. Teachers and students are welcome to attend. The photography department urgently needs models, free photography. Literature and art department journal essay. You can directly send it to the literature and art department or submit it via email. Email. Watanabe skipped the promotional flyers for these activities and searched for which clubs were still recruiting. Splash your youth, strengthen your physique, welcome to join the athletics department. The football department is waiting for you. Let me tell you quietly. There is a lovely female manager. 2 players playing the tuba are missing in the playing section, boys are preferred, and there is no requirement for musical experience. Our club's goal is to participate in the Tokyo competition, so please don't waste your time if you are slacking off. From the information in this showcase, it can be seen that the performance section is 100% an inspirational and passionate club. At 4 o'clock in the morning in Tokyo, practicing alone under the sunset, tears of joy, regret, or regret on the field. Watanabe Kiyoshi has already seen their future. It sounds like this is what youth should be like. Unfortunately, although Watanabe Che was born in the countryside, her strength is completely inadequate. Even if she can tolerate the heaviness of the instrument, whether she can play a piece of music in its entirety or make a sound is a question. He won't drag his feet anymore. Human Observation Department, recruiting personnel. Activity content. Observing humans, activity time. Every moment, members' requirements. Quiet, not enthusiastic about communication, and those who have a habit of leaving early will be given priority. Although I have not read the student handbook and am not clear about the relevant regulations on creating clubs in Chapter 3 of Chapter 5 of the handbook, I assure you that this Human Observation Department is absolutely not in line with any spirit. Can it be a fan club? Tonghao Association refers to a folk organization that, although there are activity classrooms, fails to meet the requirements for establishing a club, does not have funding from the student union, and relies on love to generate power. Anyway, let's take a look first. You can't achieve anything by relying solely on your own imagination. As Watanabe Che turned around, she glanced and remembered the floor address of the Human Observation Department. At noon, there were very few people in the club building, but as we passed by the third floor, we heard a commotion coming from a certain classroom at the staircase. The fifth floor of the club building, located at the farthest corner, is the activity classroom of the Human Observation Department. Watanabe Che knocked on the door 3 times, and someone inside said, "Please come in," before he pushed the door in. The classroom is spacious, but the space for activities is very narrow. Surrounded by boxes, spare tables and chairs, cabinets, and even a faded globe. A long table was placed in the remaining space, and in order to save space as much as possible, one end of the table was tightly pressed against the wall. A young girl sat at the edge of the window at the long table, burying her head in writing something. There was also a prepared lunch box by her side. Human Observation Department asked Watanabe Che. Yes, the girl continued to lower her head and write. A fan club. A formal club. Club. Can I leave early? Sure. Can you join now? The other person raised their head, and at this moment, the two people who had been talking finally saw each other's appearance clearly. The girl was wearing a white shirt, covered in a spring beige knit sweater. The bow at the neckline was not as loose as other girls', and it was neatly tied. A beautiful face like a cherry blossom blown in by the white screen window, with long hair shining black over the shoulder, making Watanabe Che remember the broken 0 in math class. 5mm refill. Slim waist and small chest. Almost subconsciously, Watanabe Che used the detector. Character. Rin Qingye, intelligence. 8 charm. 9 physical strength. 3 intelligence. I am observing various types of humans, but I am not very interested in this matter and just don't have anything I like to do. I hate people who lie and those who talk a lot. Strategy available. Watanabe Che was somewhat surprised in her heart. Although his charm is only 8 points, it doesn't count on television. In real life, he hasn't met any handsome men. It's also related to his small circle. This girl named Rin Qingye has a beauty that is almost beyond the limits of human beings. This is the first time I've seen a boy who dares to keep staring at me like this in this school, said Rin Sano with a slight smile on her lips, only contempt and mockery. Even so, her cherry-colored lips still make people feel relaxed. Sorry, Watanabe Che's gaze crossed the panel, and met the other person head-on. With a mindset of seeking help from others and saying something nice, he continued, it's the first time I've seen someone as good-looking as Qingye. I accidentally got hooked on him. After hearing these words, Qingye Lin pressed his hand against his chin and began to ponder. Watanabe Che put the excuse of, you're so beautiful, I've heard your name from a friend, on her lips, and then thought about whether to go to the library to take a nap later or go directly to Koizumi to report on her membership in the club since she solved the club matter so quickly. Do you like men? What are you saying? Watanabe-che changed her voice in time and looked at the girl in front of her in surprise. Encountered a corrupt woman. The so-called Human Observation Department is actually analyzing all the boys in the school, mentally pairing them, and observing them while obtaining psychological self-satisfaction. Seino Rin ignored Watanabe Kiyoshi's expression and his tone intensified. Answer me. I don't like it, said Watanabe Kiyoshi. The girl was once again lost in thought. This time it was much longer than before, and although there was nothing to do next, Watanabe-che had no intention of wasting her time waiting. He spoke up and said, if I'm sure I can leave early, I would like to join the club now. As for whether the Human Observation Department is a concentration camp for corrupt women or who to pair with, it has nothing to do with him. Anyway, he has to leave early and join the society only by name. Sure. Rin Seino raised her restored small face and nodded, although you like to lie, you have value in being observed. You are temporarily allowed to join. This is the application for joining the Communist Youth League. I really don't like men. Only this point, Watanabe Kiyoshi hopes everyone can remember. However, Rin Kiyono lost interest in Kiyoshi Watanabe and picked up a pen to start writing again. You can leave early, but you must participate in club activities. Also, come to the club every Friday, don't worry, it won't take up too much time. Club activities. I am currently submitting my article to the Ministry of Literature and Art, and the deadline is before school ends this Friday. What's the relationship between this and human observation? Also, I'm not good at writing articles. Chinya didn't raise her head and said coldly, if you're not good at writing articles, just write a withdrawal application. I haven't joined the club yet. Watanabe-che looked at the blank application form in her hand. Never mind, it doesn't mean that submissions must be accepted. Just take some time to write, which is much better than wasting 2 precious hours joining other clubs. Watanabe-che finished filling out the application form and looked up to see that Rin Seino was still writing seriously. He left it on the desk and left this activity classroom. He walked straight to the library without sleeping. May I ask if there are any previous publications of the Literary and Art Society here? Watanabe-che asked in a low voice to today's rotating librarian. Wait a moment, I'll help you check. Thank you. In no time, the librarian's gaze shifted away from the computer and said, Zone D, from the bottom of the second row of bookshelves from the left. Watanabe-che thanks again. There are many social magazines, which seem to have a historical tradition of publishing one book every year. Watanabe-che flipped through it casually, found an article about senior students observing new students, and then sorted out its overall structure. Afterwards, she followed suit and wrote an article about new students observing old students. It's definitely not possible to submit it this way. He just glanced at the invitation notice from the Literary and Artistic Society, requesting a considerable number of words. You need to fill in a bit of fancy and profound vocabulary in the writing, and write 2 haiku sentences about imagining the future and reminiscing about the past. Organizing her thoughts in her mind, Watanabe-che gradually became drowsy. Looking back at the ancient clock on the wall of the library, with half an hour left until the first lesson in the afternoon, he pushed the magazine aside and took a nap on the table. As for whether the submission has been accepted and whether it can be published in the social journal, he has no hope or care about it. In late April, with the warm spring breeze, he occasionally used unfilled journal page footers to mark the transition edge of his clear cheeks. Whenever this happened, he would switch to a more comfortable sleeping position. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. What is Koizumi? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. What is Koizumi? The first class in the afternoon is an English class supervised by Koizumi, where she is teaching boring past tense knowledge points. What is being examined here is the usage of insist. Watanabe Chei's English was decent in her past life, so while looking at the blackboard, she brainstormed and submitted an article. Whenever he needs to take notes, he writes 2 lines on white paper under an English book. By the end of class, I had written about half of it. He left his seat and walked towards Koizumi, who was surrounded by many female students. He waited silently for a while, and finally Koizumi answered all the questions before shouting, "Watanabe," and walking towards the door. Watanabe Chei followed her and the two walked towards the teacher's office. Koizumi, who is young, beautiful, and patient, is very popular. Along the way, students often greet her and she warmly responds one by one. When he arrived at the office, Koizumi sat at his desk filled with books, sideways, and said to Watanabe Chei. "Is it about the club?" Compared to yesterday, Watanabe Chei noticed a few small pots of succulent on her desk. Perhaps noticing his gaze, Koizumi Chingnai also glanced at the succulent he had bought on the way this morning. "Found it?" she asked. "Well, it's called the Human Observation Department. Do you know what she's going to do?" Koizumi Chingnai smiled bitterly, as if Watanabe Chei had done something foolish. "I don't know, I didn't ask." Although it is rare for club activities to be unclear, there are many groups with unclear meanings. In addition, Watanabe Chei did not pay much attention to being able to leave early. "Didn't you just join because you saw that Chinya was beautiful?" Facing the female teacher's gaze at the pervert, Watanabe Chei nodded and replied, "It's very beautiful." "I said you. Forget it. Let's change the club. There's no need to join the Human Observation Department." "Why? Is it not a club?" "That's not true." Koizumi Chingnai laughed. Rin Seino, like you, initially refused to join any club, so she was specially allowed to establish clubs that she was interested in. "Teacher, please allow me to establish the Home Learning Department, and I will bring you the exercise book." "Don't even think about it. Does this private school lack democracy?" Kiyono Rin's admission score is first in all private schools. "My classmate Watanabe, how about you? The third one is not bad, is it?" "It's not bad." Koizumi Chingnai nodded in agreement and looked at Watanabe Chei with an appreciative gaze. "But her father is the president of a large corporation that sponsors this private school. I was born in a small village and belong to a disadvantaged group. Shouldn't I be more taken care of? Even if I haven't been exempted from tuition fees, why should I still receive special treatment when it comes to establishing a club?" "Ha ha ha, you're a very interesting student," interrupted the English teacher from the neighboring class next to Koizumi Chingnai, laughing uncontrollably. Koizumi Chingnai glanced at his colleague and best friend, and then showed a kind and heartless smile to Watanabe Chei, saying, "You're not young anymore, you should understand the dark side of society." "Okay, but I still insist on joining the Human Observation Department. I am very interested in humans themselves. What is my full name?" Koizumi Chingnai leaned closer and looked directly into Watanabe Kiyoshi's eyes. Watanabe Chei took 2 steps back and said, "Teacher, it's too close." "Look," Koizumi Chingnai sat up straight, "people who don't even know the full name of their supervisor, let alone those who are interested in humans." At this moment, the English teacher from the neighboring class leaned over with her upper body in the arms of Koizumi Chingnai and inserted the topic again. "Classmate, I can tell you her name, if you call me Sister. Huang Zi." Koizumi Chingnai angrily straightened her body. Okay, I won't disturb your teachers' and students' heart-to-heart talks." Fujiki Shoko picked up her textbook and stood up. "I'm going to class now." Koizumi Chingnai lifted her fair and slender wrist, glanced at the dial, and finally realized that it was almost time for class. She said to Watanabe Chei, "If you insist on joining, it's up to you. But you must participate well in club activities, and I will ask Kiyoshi." "Understood. Go to class now." He said he was going to class, but Watanabe-che didn't go back. Instead, he went to the cooking classroom. This Wednesday, the last class in the afternoon is a weekly home economics class. Cooking or sewing clothes. The cooking classroom is already full of people, and students from Class 1 and Class 4 are closing. Watanabe-che and Koizumi are in the same group, and there are also 2 girls in the same class. They are responsible for getting started and mainly work for girls. Watanabe-che was assigned the task of peeling potatoes. "Does Guijing have a girlfriend?" asked the girl named Naomi Yamaguchi. "Me." Guijing Shio appeared somewhat flattered. He has short hair, average appearance, and a constantly noisy personality, so he has never been asked such a question by a girl before. Naomi Yamaguchi nodded lovingly. Not yet, not yet. At this point, Guijing Shio had lost his carefree demeanor among the boys, appearing very shy. "That's it. Do you have any plans to find a girlfriend?" "Ah. There should be, there should be. Hee, Guijing is so interesting." "Yes, really. Hee." Naomi Yamaguchi turned her head and said to Tsuyoshi Watanabe, who was peeling potatoes, "Where's Watanabe? Do you have a girlfriend?" "No. Really. Do you have any plans to find a girlfriend?" Before today's math class, Watanabe-che would firmly answer no to this question, but now he is hesitant. "There's no need to find someone, but when you meet someone you like, you still want them to be your girlfriend," he replied. The other girl, who was wearing glasses and had been very silent, asked, "Has Mr. Watanabe met anyone he likes?" "Not yet." Watanabe cut the sliced potatoes into pieces, washed them, and placed them on the cutting board. "Thank you," Naomi Yamaguchi politely said. At this moment, the sound of a stainless steel bowl falling to the ground was heard, which was very harsh, and the entire cooking room was quiet. "Hey, pay attention to me. When forming a team, didn't you say you could cook?" "Sorry, Yuzao, it was my carelessness." "Stop talking nonsense, pick it up quickly." "Yes, yes." A few seconds later, the cooking classroom returned to the hustle and bustle, with kitchen knives chopping the chopping board, shovels colliding with pots, and students arguing over their cooking opinions. "Yuzao from Class 1 is so beautiful," Naomi Yamaguchi whispered in a strange tone. Koizumi asked curiously, "Yamaguchi, I heard that Yuzao is not popular among girls." "There is a classmate of mine in class. I heard from her that Yuzao is so beautiful and seems to often take money from boys." The answer was from the girl wearing glasses. "Taking money from a boy?" Koizumi widened his eyes. "How do you get it? How else can we get it?" Naomi Yamaguchi's answer continued, leaving endless possibilities. Guijing Shio took a deep breath, feeling very unbelievable. He leaned over to Watanabe-che and excitedly said, "In reality, Baichi, it's my first time seeing her. It's actually real, not from a manga or an animation." Watanabe-che also felt a bit surprised. Just like in the previous generation of higher education institutions, he suddenly heard that a girl in the same class had been serving as a junior in society. "Although I know that such a thing exists and am prepared to accept it, when it really happens by my side, I still sincerely exclaim. This world is truly wonderful." Watanabe-che gave Yuzao a beautiful glance. Wearing the same Western-style school uniform on her, she inexplicably gave off a sense of fashion and was a very cute girl. "Wait a minute." Just as he was about to lower his head to help Guijing Shio deal with carrots, something suddenly came to his mind. Only the last probe left, aimed at Yuzao, who was still teaching the same group of boys a lesson, is so beautiful. Character. Yuzao is so beautiful. Intelligence. 5. Charm. 8. Physical strength. 6. Intelligence. Pursuing fashion, worshipping money, looking down on ugly people, looking down on poor people. Strategy available. After tasting the average taste of potato curry, the family class also came to an end. Watanabe-che walked back to the classroom with Koishio and Saito Keisuke. Saito, just now Yamaguchi asked me if I have a girlfriend and asked if I have any plans to find a girlfriend. Is it really fake? Of course, if you don't believe me, ask Watanabe. Watanabe-che nodded. It seems that your little boy's spring is coming. Saito Hueijia punched Koishio, he said, whoever finds his girlfriend first will treat others to dinner. No problem. Koishio not only didn't mind being punched, but also happily agreed to the request. Saito Keisuke still felt incredulous. Watanabe is also here, and Yamaguchi is actually interested in you. Guijing is full of masculinity, and it's normal for girls to like it, said Watanabe-che. That's right, that's right. Koishio nodded vigorously. Although Naomi Yamaguchi doesn't like Koishio, what Tetsuya Watanabe said is actually true. Although Watanabe-che is handsome, she is generally thin, and making mistakes in physical education class is a common occurrence. And whether it's basketball, football, or long-distance running, Koishio is very good at it, and he is a member of the popular baseball club. When wearing sportswear, his figure looks good, and it's not surprising that there are girls who like him. Returning to class for amidst the brawl of three people. When passing by class 1, Watanabe-che noticed Yuzao Haume at the back of the classroom, tidying up her backpack and joking with a few girls. He suddenly remembered something. What is Koizumi's full name? The two people who were originally trying to figure out how to ask Naomi Yamaguchi for his contact information quieted down and stared at him with an expression of, "You can't be unaware of this." End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Working and Planning. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. Working and planning. The end of school time at Shinkawa Private School is 3:15 p.m., and Watanabe-che arrived at Nishinjuku Station at 3:30 p.m. He works at a supermarket near the exit. Watanabe-jun, here you are. As soon as she arrived at the shop, the young female cashier, Chiharu Mirai, standing at the cashier, greeted him with a smile. Good afternoon, Miss Chien-chun. Watanabe-che walked into the staff room, put his backpack in the cabinet, changed his uniform, put on an apron, and walked to the cooked food area. Watanabe-jun, I'm leaving first. Jingzi, who was in charge of taking him, saw him and eagerly put down his work. Okay. Jingzi is in his 20s and has been a homemaker since getting married. When my daughter goes to kindergarten and gets bored staying at home, she comes out to work again. Every day at midnight, I rush to pick up my daughter. Only Watanabe-che is left in the cooked food area. He first looked at the cooking of Kanto, and only a few pieces of incomplete oily bean curd floated on it. He skillfully took out processed ingredients such as white radish chunks, kunbo rolls, rice cake lucky bags, konjac, etc. from the cold snow area, placed them into the machine in categories, filled them with soup, and boiled them over heat. Then there are fried foods. The best-selling pork patties and chicken skewers are also running out, we need to replenish them quickly. After using the oil for the whole morning, it was still clean. I put the chicken skewers in, and yellow bubbles formed. There was a slight heat wave on Watanabe-che's masked face. Mom. I want this. Dinner is coming soon, no way. Ah. Just want it. Watanabe-che remained silent, waiting for the tug of war between the child at the counter and the young mother to end. Finally, the child happily took the freshly fried chicken skewers from his hand and was obediently led away by his nagging mother. Thank you for your patronage. This side has just left, and on the other side, there are students wearing other private school uniforms coming to buy Kanto cuisine. 1 carrot, no, 2. Okay. He used a clip to put 2 pieces of white radish filled with soup into a disposable box. 1 bamboo wheel, 2 kunbo rolls, I also need eggs. Eating so much. Aren't you afraid that we won't be able to eat together later, said the companion with a smile. Don't worry, don't worry. The person waved his hand, give me another rice cake lucky bag. Okay, said Tetsuya Watanabe one by one. Then I'll have one too, said another student. 2 minutes later, Tetsuya Watanabe also said, thank you for your patronage, and sent off these guests, while someone was observing the fried food on the other side. What do the guests need? They're all just fried. He walked over. The guest glanced twice and turned around to leave. So busy until 7:30, Watanabe-che temporarily left the cooked food area and labeled the leftover bento boxes with discount labels one by one. The supermarket closed at 9:30, and he, along with Chiharu Mirai and 2 other staff members, restocked the shelves. At this point, she is more free. She can restock any shelf she wants, and Mirai Chiharu follows Watanabe-che by her side. Mr. Watanabe, the salary will be paid soon. Do you want to go out and play together? How much salary can I get? As for Watanabe-jun, you work 5 hours a day, 3 days a week, for a month. An hourly salary of 960 yen, which means 57,600 yen. It's a bit low, but save some money by eating in the school cafeteria. You can save some money sent from your hometown. Unfortunately, the part-time work of 15 hours per week has exceeded the school's permission and is now being done secretly. If you find another part-time job, maybe you can save money. Watanabe-che thought to herself and took the potato chips from Mirai Chiharu's hand, placing them on the shelf. Probably less than 60,000 yuan. Forget it. Chiharu Mirai gave up mental calculation and suggested with a smile, a new karaoke restaurant has opened behind Nakano Station. Let's go sing and celebrate. I planned to save money to buy a newly released game recently. What game is so expensive? You can't use it all for 60,000, right? Watanabe-che turned around and smiled at her, saying, I'm not you, Chiharu. We don't have money at home, and we've saved money on buying games. Chiharu Mirai nodded slightly unwilling and said, okay, how about next month? Well, if you have money, you must go. Can I just look forward to it? Chiharu Mirai's tone became cheerful. Okay. After replenishing the snacks in the snack area, Watanabe-che walked towards the toilet paper area, and Chiharu Mirai followed behind. After replenishing all the goods, the 4 employees divided the remaining bento and fried food and said goodbye to each other in front of the store. Returning to the rented old apartment, it's already past 10 o'clock. This apartment is specifically rented out to nearby private school students, higher education students, international students, outsiders who come to Tokyo to pursue their dreams, and so on. The house price is relatively cheap, but the space is limited. Upon entering, there is a kitchen with only a gas stove. 3 steps inside, there is a room that is both a living room and a bedroom. The toilet can only accommodate 1 toilet, fortunately it is a compartment and has an exhaust fan. The bathroom is also narrow, but it allows for both showering and soaking. In addition, there is a balcony where clothes can only be hung and no one can stand. Watanabe-che doesn't have much dissatisfaction, it's just a sleeping place, size doesn't matter. He heated the bento and fried food in the microwave for 5 minutes. Leave it alone, take 10 minutes to take a shower, and then take out the already heated food from the microwave. Put the animated DVD that Guojing Shio lent him on the TV. His parents are afraid that he won't be able to make city friends and that he will only know how to study, which will lead to autism. They bought him cheap goods to pass the time. Poured a glass of water and started eating bento. His attention was not focused on the animation, using it as background sound and thinking about other things. With April's salary and 150,000 yen in funds, I wonder if it's possible to make Yuzao Haume agree to be his friend. But Watanabe-che had no intention of putting his life on this friendly system. Once the school is informed, not to mention asking taxpayers to pay for their future plans, whether they can graduate from a private school becomes a problem. Moreover, his parents who work hard in farming in their hometown cannot be let down by him. Finally, he didn't have any points to buy the detector. That is to say, Watanabe Kiyoshi's current goal is only to have Rin Kiyono and Yuzao Yumi. Rin Kiyono has an IQ of 8, a charm of 9, a cold personality, and the detector has not provided any useful information. Although Watanabe Che was surprised by her appearance, she was not interested in such a person and was too lazy to spend time on her. Yuzao has 8 points of beauty and charm, but her intelligence is only 5 points. Entering the Shinchuan private school may be her limit. Even if intelligence is not equal to emotional intelligence, it is much easier to deceive. Plus, the other party likes money, which is very convenient. It's best to solve it with money, but Watanabe Che doesn't want to really fall in love. Even if we were in love, we wouldn't find a girl like Yuzao Haume who doesn't fit in with his basic values. Yuzao is so beautiful. He made up his mind to make the other person his friend with money. According to the supplementary provisions, if the duration lasts for 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, or 10 years, there will be a sign in reward. Watanabe Che doesn't expect 1 or 10 years, but at least 1 week and 1 month's rewards will be received. 150000 yen, let Yuzao Haume agree to be his friend for a month. I don't know how the other party's market is. There are also other risks involved in this matter. Letting a third party besides the two of them know about this transaction. Watanabe Che is most concerned about this. According to rumors in private schools, the level of strictness in Yuzao's beautiful reputation is worrying. But it could also be that other students happen to see it's better to find time to interact with each other and observe for a period of time. Thinking of this, the bento was already finished. Watanabe Che collected the garbage and left it at the door for easy disposal tomorrow morning. Turn off the TV that is still making noise, push the table to the corner, make the bed, brush your teeth and sleep. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Mysterious Girls and Clubs. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Mysterious Girls and Clubs, DDD. DDD. Watanabe Che reached out from under the blanket, turned off the noisy alarm clock, and lay in bed for 10 seconds before getting up from the bed. The time is 7:15 a.m. on Thursday morning. After brushing your teeth with half-closed eyes, wash your face, put on a white shirt and pants, tie a tie in front of the mirror, put on a suit uniform that you haven't used to wearing yet, and leave the front open. This is more handsome. Actually, I am tired of fastening buttons every day, and there is a sense of constraint and lack of freedom. Watanabe Che began to miss her hometown where the bus ran every 2 hours. All she needed to wear was a shirt for her school uniform, and ties and the like could be used as ropes. Stepping onto the backpack, carrying the garbage, Watanabe Che walked out the door. If I remember correctly, his tie should be tied to the old well in the backyard. When he threw the garbage into the trash can, he suddenly thought. At the first moment of waking up, Watanabe Che's thoughts always couldn't concentrate, thinking about messy things, and sometimes even recalling experiences that she thought she had forgotten long ago. Yawning and swiping my card into the station, I took the 7.30 tram. I got off the bus at Shitani Station and crossed the long uphill path of Shinkawa Private School by Watanabe Che. Tokyo, although located at the southern end of the Kanto Plain and adjacent to Tokyo Bay, has many uphill and downhill slopes of all sizes. His thoughts, like vines and weeds, began to wander again. He thought of the beautiful girl Kiyono Rin from the Human Observation Department, who was just like her breasts. It seemed like there was something, and it seemed like there was nothing. Watanabe Che shook her head and interrupted her idea of where she was going. Walking to the school gate, a group of guys in sportswear, neatly arranged, and shaved, shouting slogans, were running around the school. The last person in the team cast a seductive glance at Watanabe Che, and it was Koishio. Shinchuan. Come on. Shinchuan. Come on. Watanabe stood in place, paying solemn attention to the passionate and inspirational private school life. Good morning, Watanabe. Good morning. On the way into the teaching building from the school gate, he was greeted by girls from his class who tied bows and wore pleated skirts. After all, I ranked third in terms of grades and had a very outstanding appearance. If it weren't for my poor family, I would have received twice as many love letters every week. Watanabe threw her indoor shoes on the ground, stuffed her feet in, and put the unknown pink letterhead from the cabinet into her backpack. He, who had no emotional attachment to love letters, suddenly had a new feeling. If he promised a few people, he would always meet those who agreed and earn a lot of points. Arriving at the classroom, it was still early before 8:30 class time, and Watanabe buried her head in writing yesterday's unfinished submission. It's so early today. Saito Hayasuke, who arrived late, greeted and walked in. Seeing him writing something, he asked, "Have you not finished your homework yet? Do you want to borrow my copy?" "No need, it's for submission to the literary society." "How could you be interested in this kind of thing?" "Let me guess." Keisuke Saito placed his backpack on his seat and sat on the chair of a classmate who had not yet come to Watanabe's desk. "After the submission is accepted, there will be a cash reward. It's not such a good thing, and compared to earning money by writing articles, it's faster to work part-time. So, have you joined the Department of Literature and Art? Submitting is an introductory assessment for the Department of Literature and Art. It's not a writer organization from somewhere. What's the reason?" Saito Keisuke patted his head and suddenly made a flash of inspiration, saying with great certainty, "I was asked by Koizumi's supervisor." "Is this under her jurisdiction?" Saito Keisuke gave up and said, "Why is that?" "Your brain is broken. It's like this." Watanabe directly wiped out the wrong word with his pen, but there was someone else. "Has this guy finally come this far?" Saito Keisuke picked up Watanabe Kiyoshi's rubber, took off the packaging, and exposed the pure white rubber. He placed it upright on the table of Koishu on his right side. Watanabe looked up at her rubber like a white bouquet and said, "Saito, you're not far either. Are you lying to others?" "I never lie, Watanabe." The joke came to an end, and Watanabe explained that she had joined the Human Observation Department and was asked to submit articles to the Literary and Art Society. "Chingya Ling." Saito Keisuke's voice was loud, and Watanabe instinctively asked, "Do you know him?" "Unilateral understanding." "By the way, is there anyone at the Shinkawa private school who doesn't know her?" "I am the one in front of you." "You, Watanabe," said Saito Hayasuke, hesitating to speak. Watanabe doesn't know what he means, implying that he's not human. Anyway, he cares more about what the last sentence of the submission ends with than these. Saito Keisuke took the eraser back and threw it in his hand, saying, "The flower of jailing refers to Rin Chinya herself. Although we don't have the term school flower in Shinchuan, when it comes to who is the most beautiful, it's this young lady. So impressive, why haven't you mentioned it to Guojing before? Who dares to talk about her in school? And even talking about her is useless, that kind of person is too far away from us." Keisuke Saito smiled with regret. "As long as we leave kindergarten, humans will more or less begin to consciously classify themselves. The poor will feel inferior when facing the rich, the ugly will not dare to pursue the beautiful, and so on." Saito Keisuke's lost emotions were only momentarily resolved, and he quickly recovered. "But how dare you approach her proactively, Watanabe? I just wanted to leave early." "Don't pretend, you secretly tell me, have you fallen in love with her at first sight? Although I think it's impossible, I will still silently cheer for you in my heart. Whatever you want. Let me tell you about her intelligence." Keisuke Saito lowered his voice, "She's at home." Watanabe looked out the window at the azure sky, his pen nib on the paper. "Ah. Saito Keisuke stopped talking and said, "What's wrong?" "I thought of it." "What?" "At the end of the article, let's just call it the end of the text, and add a spirited haiku. Our small grass is sprouting again, and the infinite world is about to turn green." After the morning class ended, Watanabe Chie finished her meal and went to the art club, ready to submit the first draft directly. The Ministry of Literature and Art does not leave much space for people's activities, but what occupies other places are bookshelves and display windows, on which various books and certificates are displayed in different categories. Unlike the Human Observation Department, which places all irrelevant items, it can even be said to be garbage. Watanabe Chie and the reflection of herself in the showcase looked at each other. It seems that the art department pays great attention to hygiene and cleaning. At least the glass is wiped very clean. Please state your name, class, and type of work. I joined in the name of the club. My name is Watanabe Chie, and my work type is. Watanabe Chie recalled the place where the article he saw in the library was published in the journal. Prose. Okay, please give me the manuscript, and what is the name of the club? Human Observation Department. Watanabe Chie handed over the manuscript. Human Observation Department. The member in charge of registering the Literary and Artistic Society instinctively repeated this sentence, and his gaze on Watanabe Chie became unfriendly. Sure enough, you have the same moral character as that person. That person is fine, this guy dares to send the manuscript directly. Surprisingly allowing such societies to exist, is there still fairness? The loud whispers behind her made Du Biancha a little concerned. What's wrong with the Human Observation Department? Isn't the Art Society posting its own invitation notice for submissions? Or is it that Qingye Lin relied on his privileges to establish a society, which made these intellectuals in the Literary and Artistic Society unable to bear to watch? If it is the last reason, he stands with the people for the time being. Name. The person in charge of registration glared fiercely at him. Didn't you say it, Watanabe Chie? The name of the article. Watanabe Chie finally remembered that she had not written a title for the manuscript. Think about it. What's the name of the library article? Our Past, the Future of Us. The member in charge of registration, Shua Shua, wrote the title on Watanabe Chie's manuscript and relevant information on the registration form. All right. Watanabe Chie nodded and said, "Thank you. Go out, the art department doesn't welcome you." What happened to Qingye Lin, this beautiful girl, in the literary society? With such doubts in mind, Watanabe Chie returned to the classroom. As soon as he entered the door, Koizumi shouted loudly, "Watanabe. I've heard Saito say, you've joined Rin Seino's club." Watanabe Chie noticed that other classmates in the class were looking over. That's right. He nodded. What exactly does that society called Human Observation do? I'm also curious. I really can't figure out what's the relationship between submitting articles to the Literary Society and Human Observation, said Keisuke Saito. Watanabe Chie shrugged and said, perhaps it's writing a report on observing humans and publishing it through the Literary Society. It doesn't matter, as long as you can leave early. Can you avoid going to the club? Asked Keisuke Saito. Go once after school on Friday. According to Minister Rin Kiyono, it won't take long and we can leave soon. Saito Keisuke's face showed a sudden realization and he said, it's quite suitable for you, Watanabe. No wonder you joined in. I thought you were really captivated by Seino. If Watanabe Chie remembers correctly, he made it clear in the morning that he wanted to leave early, but Saito still looked incredulous. How could he just leave by noon at this moment? He noticed the gazes around him. So it's because of this, afraid of the rumor of Watanabe Kiyoshi joining the Human Observation Department in pursuit of Rin Kiyono. If a poor boy like Watanabe Chie dares to pursue a flower like Qingye Rin, it may attract ridicule from the surrounding. This guy doesn't know his social status. The people here in Tokyo are also too good at watching the atmosphere. Just as Watanabe was pondering, Koizumi suddenly lowered his voice and said, "Hey, Watanabe, my good friend. What are the conditions for joining the company? Isn't it?" Watanabe is not sure either, as he hasn't gone through any entry tests. "Do you also want to join? You're a member of the baseball team. Even if the human observation team only takes up a little time on Friday, it's still enough," he asked curiously. It's true that students from Shinkawa private school can join 3 clubs at the same time, but the baseball department has even used morning time, not to mention the official club activities set by the school after school. Koizumi didn't care at all and showed a lewd expression. As for time, there is always a squeeze. "Hello." Keisuke Saito had a black line all over his head. "Didn't you already have Yamaguchi Naomi? And is Rin Kiyono something you can pursue? What's wrong with me? I'm still a member of the baseball team." Koi avoided answering Naomi Yamaguchi's question. "Man, it's not even in the bowl yet, just thinking about what's in the pot." Saito Keisuke sneered twice. The baseball club is a popular club at Shinkawa private school, and the boys who can join are quite talented and popular. Japanese women want to marry, and professional baseball players are among the top. But compared to the daughters of big capitalists, it's hard to say even a celebrity professional baseball player, let alone a member of a private school baseball club. "I'll just accompany Watanabe, there's no other intention," said Koizumi, clearly aware of the situation, and touching his own inch. Watanabe glanced at the guy and said, "I want to get up close with Seino Rin every week. You still understand me? There are still 20 minutes left for class this afternoon, let's go." Koizumi patted the table and walked towards the teaching room. "Where are you going?" Yosuke Saito shouted. "The club building. Now. Are you crazy? Are you a partner?" "No, but if we treat you tonight, it's not impossible to accompany you." Okay, hurry up." "Let's go, Watanabe," said Saito Keisuke with a smile and patted Watanabe's shoulder. 3 people walked through the elevated corridor between buildings and arrived at the activity classroom of the Human Observation Department. Koizumi stood at the door, but didn't have the courage to knock. He pushed Watanabe forward and urged in a low voice, "Watanabe, knock on the door." Watanabe had no thoughts about Rin Seino, so he naturally did not have feelings of inferiority or shyness. He knocked on the door and was the first to enter after receiving permission. The girl sat by the window, her hands like freshly peeled tender bamboo shoots, holding a hardcover book. The sea breeze blowing from Tokyo Bay caressed her long hair. Her beautiful and lovely face has no expression, only those charming eyes, which occasionally create various ripples due to reading. Koizumi and Saito Hueijia were stunned. "Chinya, the submission from the Literary and Art Society is ready," said Watanabe. "Well, it's been tough." Chinya nodded and flipped the book back 1 page. "Also, Tetsuya." Watanabe stepped aside and exposed the 2 people behind him. "I have 2 classmates who also want to join the Human Observation Department." Saito Keisuke, who followed, did not object. Seino Rin picked up a bookmark and placed it between the pages, placing the book aside and looking at the 2 of them. The activity classroom quieted down, and Watanabe heard Koizumi nervously swallow a mouthful of water and make a loud voice. He turned around and glanced at Koizumi, who had already blushed. Seino Rin hugged her chest with both hands, sitting in a posture as if looking down at the 2 of them. "Answer me a question, and once you pass, you can join." "No problem." Koi replied in his loud voice as he answered the baseball department head. "You, eliminate." Koizumi was stunned for a while before stuttering, "Hey. Did you come for an interview without even looking at the requirements for joining the company?" Chinya Lin's originally calm tone slightly lowered in temperature. Koizumi couldn't speak and looked quite anxious. Rin Seino ignored him, his scrutinizing gaze turned towards Keisuke Saito. Saito Hayasuke quickly said, "I have seen it." When Watanabe Che spoke in the morning, he explained the strange requirements for joining the company once. He probably remembered some of them, but the Guijing Shio who listened to him did not have this blessing. Just as Keisuke Saito was about to explain the incomplete requirements for joining the company, Rin Kiyono glanced at Che Watanabe and picked up a hardcover book to read again. Let them go. This is what Watanabe Che read from her eyes. Chingye, Saito has really seen it and came with sincerity. If you don't believe it, you can ask him. I hate people who lie. If there was a slight temperature difference in Chingye Ling's voice just now, it has completely faded away. A similar aura of, don't disturb me, waste time spread from the girl. Watanabe Che turned his head to look at the two of them, and Koi Shio looked at him with a pitiful expression of, leave quickly, I can't hold on anymore. Saito Hueijia also shook his head and gestured to forget. Sorry to bother you, he said. Seino Rin nodded almost imperceptibly and said, walk slowly. Koi Shio immediately rushed out, followed closely by Saito Keisuke. As Watanabe Che was also about to leave, the sound of Rin Seino came from behind. Watanabe classmate. Watanabe Che instinctively turned back. The girl maintained a posture of holding a book in her hand, carrying the sunlight outside the window and looking at him motionless. Do you like me? Ah. Watanabe Che was confused by her words. Answer the question. Rin Seino had no intention of explaining his doubts. I like it, Chingye is so cute. Anyway, it's always right to say good things, isn't it? Indeed, there is value in continuing to observe. Remember to come to the club after school tomorrow. Rin Kiyono withdrew her gaze. Close the door when you go out. Watanabe Che completely doesn't understand what the other person is saying. What observation value? He Watanabe is just an ordinary private school student, even though he already has cheats, he hasn't been used yet. However, he was not interested in asking others what they didn't want to say, so he turned around and pulled the door open, following Koi Hideyoshi and Saito Keisuke. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Mutual Questions. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. Mutual Questioning. Ah, it scared me to death. A fierce man from the baseball team, Shio Guijing, put on a fearful look. Watanabe Che joked, is it so scary? How could it be that you're not afraid? Koi Shio exclaimed loudly in order to salvage his image, that's a beautiful girl with a clear and majestic appearance. She can be called a perfect beauty. Really? I think Naomi Yamaguchi is not bad either, said Tetsuya Watanabe seriously. Watanabe, don't go too far. Although Naomi is not bad, Koi Shio seemed to be praised. Saito Keisuke performed better, but was a bit nervous. He said. Chingye's father is not only the president of a large company, but also a member of parliament. If she thinks we are harassing, is asked to transfer, no, or even suspend school, there is a possibility. So exaggerated. Watanabe Kiyoshi's expression was the same as yesterday when she heard that Yuzao was so beautiful and being kept. This is Tokyo, Watanabe, Koi Shuyu said, patting him deeply on the shoulder. Perhaps it's true, maybe it's fake, maybe it's half true or half false, but it's okay anyway. Anyway, Watanabe Kiyoshi thinks these have nothing to do with him. In the afternoon, there are 2 consecutive art classes, just like home economics classes, once a week. Watanabe Che mixed the paint while polishing the white statue. Halfway through the painting, the guy Guijing Shio leaned over and said, Hueijia, come and see Watanabe's painting. Saito Keisuke walked over and glanced at him, isn't this an ape man? The two of them laughed heartily, and an active female student took the opportunity to look over and burst out laughing. The young art teacher, full of artistic atmosphere, also smiled and said, You're amazing, Mr. Watanabe. You've understood the essence of Leonardo da Vinci at a young age. It's just average. After the course ended, Watanabe Che, who couldn't distinguish between genders, received a B, breaking my historical record. It should have been C, but it's really funny. Hahaha, no, we can't keep it for other classes to see. This is a comment from the art teacher. Compared to the members of the art department in the class, they are indeed far behind, even if they may have just joined for a month. Clubs are not just for fun, they are essentially like training classes in society, where skills can truly be learned. Among them, outstanding students are also of first-class level in the entire society. I went back to the classroom and got my backpack. I have to go to the playground to gather. I'll treat you tonight. It's still the family restaurant from last time, at 6:30 p.m. Guojing Shio left this sentence and ran away. Saito Keisuke said to Watanabe Che, I also want to go to the computer research department. Watanabe, are you going home or to the human observation department? You don't need to work today, go to the club and sit for a while, wait for you and Guojing. Let's go together then. Okay. After school, the campus is noisy, with men and women chasing each other in the hallway, and some leaning against the window to chat. The elevated corridor to the club building is very crowded, filled with students preparing to participate in club activities. The scene of 2 or 3 people from the school in the anime does not exist. There is no such thing as saving money in reality. In the distance, like an alarm clock, the sound of instruments practicing in the playing section came on time. Are we going to have a test next week? Monthly testing. Are you confident of winning first place this time? First of all, Watanabe Che recalled Kiyoshi Rin's intelligence at 8 o'clock, do your best. What are you planning to do during the golden week after the exam? Study and work. How about going out and playing? For example, Akihabara. Going to twist an egg. Or experiencing VR games. I want to save money recently. Let's talk about it next month. The two of them chatted and arrived at the club building. They separated at the staircase on the 3rd floor, and Saito Keisuke went to the computer research department. Watanabe Che went to the human observation department on the 5th floor. Opening the door of the club, Chingya Lin, who was reading a book, remained there forever like a painting. Sorry, said Watanabe Che, I'm waiting for friends from other clubs to come here to pass the time. I didn't mean to disturb you. It's okay, Rin Chingya nodded reluctantly. Watanabe Che found a relatively new steel pipe chair from the pile of waste in the corner and sat down in a place far away from the clear wilderness. He looked around aimlessly for a while, and finally set his sights on the girl reading a book. At first glance, it is not difficult to understand the embarrassment that Koizumi felt towards her. Fair skin, shiny black hair, slim figure, slender legs in black stockings, and impeccable except for her chest. Can we say that the less attractive part is on the chest? What if someone grows up in the future? Would it be too arbitrary? Or does the panel update in real time? No matter what you do, you must think of the cost beforehand, the girl suddenly spoke. Ah. Seino Rin pressed down on her skirt and continued, some aspects of humanity are not within my observation range. Can I ask a few questions? Can you understand the specific meaning behind certain numbers? It's amazing, Rin Kiyono praised in a flat voice, pressing his right hand against his small chin. Unfortunately, I won't tell you. What exactly is the club activity of the Human Observation Department, said Watanabe Che directly, that's what I just did. You can take the exam here. Even stupid people cannot join this club. It doesn't matter if someone says it's stupid, Watanabe Che. After all, this kind of thing doesn't rely on words, but a club that can leave early at any time may be the only one in the whole school. I rely on it for working on Mondays and Wednesdays. Watanabe Che carefully recalled all the memories about this strange club and pondered this question for the first time. Today I went to the art club to submit my article, and they had a lot of opinions about me. At first, I thought you had offended them, but when I thought about it, you offended them. They wouldn't all show hatred towards me. At least a few girls would come to persuade me to quit the club. In other words, it's not you who have objections, but all the members of the Human Observation Department represented by you. Why do you have any objections? Can I think of only submitting articles? Are you planning to write an article that is better than all members of the literary society, deliberately embarrassing them, and then observe their, that is, humans' reactions in this situation? Correction. Not intentional. So where did they offend you first? Seino Rin lifted her hair, which had been blown to her chest by the wind, behind her and said, I haven't noticed those people yet. It's just that they're not lucky enough and happen to be my first target. It's really pitiful. Watanabe Che expressed sympathy to the Ministry of Literature and Art as if reading a line. If he remembers correctly, the submission notice from the Literary and Art Society stated that the best article of this issue would be selected through a school-wide vote. Although they are the literary society representing the students who love reading at Shinkawa Private School, they are not the ones who write the best articles. I wonder if anyone will commit seppuku. Do you seem to have confidence in my article? Rin Kiyono hugged her chest with both hands and looked at Tsuyoshi Watanabe with a scrutinizing gaze. Aren't you the first, and you also look confident? Lie. Keep answering. Mind reading? Watanabe Che asked curiously. Answer the question, Chingye Rin repeated as she tapped her arm with her index finger. All right. The topic failed to shift, and Watanabe Che had to take it seriously. You have a high intelligence, so I don't think you will do things you are not confident about. The girl nodded in centimeters and acknowledged Watanabe Che's answer. Passed. Congratulations, from now on, you will be an official member of the Human Observation Department. Thank you. So, let me ask the next question. If Watanabe Che remembers correctly, although the topic started with his own question, he has always been answering the question, right? Although I have asked it again, the result has left me very dissatisfied, so I am asking again. Do you like men? Ah. What kind of problem is this? Or is it a rumor from somewhere? Why is it necessary to satisfy you as a prerequisite? Could it be that a girl sent him a love letter, arranged to meet him at noon or after school, in the back of the sports warehouse or in the courtyard of the school building, and was stood up by him? In addition, he has been with Koi Shio and Saito Keisuke all along, so it is rumored that his sexual orientation is abnormal, right? No, right. Answer the question. This sentence seems to be a girl's catchphrase. Of course not. I like beautiful women aged 14 to 30.5. That's strange, Chingye Lin lowered his head and pondered. Can't someone really tell you that I like men? Even if a corrupt woman is divided and attacked in her heart. This cannot stop it, but the rumor that Watanabe Che likes men must be suppressed in the bud. Chingye Lin lifted her beautiful face and comforted, don't worry, who would pay attention to rumors about passers-by like you? That's good. Watanabe Che let out a sigh of relief. So why did you suddenly ask this question? Are you a corrupt woman? It's strange that some men with normal sexual orientation don't like me, don't you think? Aren't you curious? Are you serious? Why does everyone have to like you? Watanabe Che carefully looked at Seino Rin and confirmed if the other person was joking. The girl smiled and didn't speak. There is no need to answer, that lofty attitude has already made Du Biancha know her answer. Speaking of which, if I say I don't like it, then I don't like it. Do you also have confidence in me, he said. Correction. It's about being confident in oneself. Seeing that you don't like me and it's under my command, let me tell you, the girl flicked her long hair. I've seen through all lies since I was young. This sentence contains too much information, to the point where Watanabe Kiyoshi doesn't know where to start refuting it. After shrinking, the blue interface that couldn't be detected without careful examination suddenly flashed. You have a new email, end of this chapter. Chapter 7. 7 Exploration. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Exploration, Identifying Lies. Psychology. Knowledge of facial expressions and movements. Or a combination of both. None of them. Rin Sano shook his head. When I was 3 years old, I suddenly could tell if someone was lying. Unbelievable. I don't expect others to believe such unrealistic things. But since then, I have sincerely despised those who lie and demanded that I never do such things. Does this kind of thing refer to lying? Of course. This is very interesting. Watanabe Che asked curiously, do you like me? Are you a fish? I just said I hate people who lie. Do you never lie, or are you cursing yourself for not being human? Qin Yilin held her forehead with a headache. Sorry, just take this as a boy's curiosity. After all, when you hear a girl suddenly say that she will never lie, said Watanabe Che. However, there is no one in this world who cannot lie. So besides myself, I hate everyone, Rin Kiyono replied without hesitation. The sun in Tokyo gradually sets in the west, and a group of crows fly from afar, brushing over the sky above the Kamikawa private school building. The girl's cold face showed no signs of joking. Watanabe Che believed the girl's words from the bottom of her heart, believing that she was indeed an honest person, someone who never lied. This feeling was inexplicable, and Watanabe Che suspected that she was confused by the other person's appearance at 9 o'clock, to the point where she believed this kind of nonsense. How could a person not lie? Impossible, being a person can lie, and it is necessary to lie. The question is over. Rin Qingye opened the hardcover book. As a formal member, you can stay, but please keep quiet. No problem. The club classroom quieted down, and Watanabe Che vaguely heard the sharp sound of metal hitting the ball, which was the sound of a metal bat hitting the ball. The baseball training has started. Watanabe Che set aside the girl's affairs, took out her textbook, and pretended to learn. You have a new email, click on. Temporary activity. At 16:03 on April 26, game time, a girl claiming to be able to see through all lies appears in front of you. Activity content. Successfully deceived the other party once. Activity time. 1 week, activity reward. Mind reading /1 million points, mind reading. This should be a daily game. How could there be such a superpower redemption option? The abilities in the mall can also be acquired by humans through learning. Watanabe Che reopened supplementary provisions. The regulations regarding temporary activities state that although he has read them, he has not remembered them, only knowing that there is no punishment for not participating. 250. This game has no punishment for players, including temporary activities. 251. Special rewards that appear in temporary events only appear in temporary events, and the mall does not refresh. 252. The difficulty of temporary activities varies and the degree of danger is uncertain. In principle, players are encouraged to actively participate and reminded to handle them with caution. 253. According to the basic spirit of game operation, temporary activity rewards should be consistent with the difficulty coefficient. 254. Temporary activities have almost impossible tasks to complete, but there is no absolute impossible task to complete. 255. Any illegal actions taken by the player in the game, including temporary activities, including but not limited to kidnapping, threats, bribery, seduction, and the use of drugs, have no relation to this game, and the consequences shall be borne by the player. That's probably all. This activity, with its outrageous 1 million points, is an almost impossible task to complete. Although Watanabe Che has a keen eye for reading, she still holds no hope. However, does this confirm the fact that Rin Qingye can see through all lies? Even if it is not all lies, it is not just anyone who can cheat the other party with a little thought. Hate everyone except myself. If it is true, what kind of feeling is it? Watanabe-che imagined being surrounded by people she disliked. Well, it's not as comfortable as spending a lifetime farming in the countryside. After school, when Watanabe-che closed the sliding door of the activity classroom, she couldn't help but glance at Seino Rin, who was seriously reading a book. Coming from a prestigious family, with both beauty and wisdom coexisting, there is this kind of stubbornness that can be said to be a mental illness. Unfortunately. After leaving the Human Observation Department, Tetsuya Watanabe first met up with Keisuke Saito, and then waited on the playground for the sweaty National Well repair. The three of them walked together to a nearby family restaurant. This shop called Bawaka is located in a corner of Shinjuku Avenue and is a popular destination for nearby students. In addition to the Shinkawa private school, there is also a women's school affiliated with a higher education institution and a regular private school around here. The three schools often jointly organize various activities. When the three arrived, there were already many people sitting in the family restaurant. A family of men, women, and children came out to eat together, but most of them were students wearing uniforms from three schools. The restaurant offers a wide range of Japanese set meals, Western-style steaks, and pasta from various countries. The dishes are quite diverse, and not only are they cheap, but you can also drink whatever you order. Watanabe ordered a buckwheat noodle, Saito Keisuke ordered ramen noodles, and Kei Shio ate more. In addition to ramen noodles, he also ordered steak and chips. After taking just a few bites, Saito Keisuke said, "Watanabe, how does it feel to be alone in a room with Rin Seino?" Guijing Shio had a big mouthful of noodles in his mouth and made a blurry sound. Men's topics always revolve around these things. Watanabe-che picked up a small amount of buckwheat flour, rolled it around in the soup, and sucked it into her mouth. The taste was average, but the strength was not as strong as that of a rural mother who pulled it herself. After finishing this conversation, he finally spoke up and answered the curious couple, "I'm being disliked." "You didn't do anything, did you?" Keisuke Saito exclaimed in surprise. "I just did something that anyone could do." Guijing Shio finally swallowed the food. "Did you take action? Aren't you afraid of death, you? Even Chinya Lin, do you dare?" As Watanabe-che was about to explain, he saw a familiar figure at the beverage bar. "I'll go get some drinks." He picked up the cup and stood up. "Help me pour a cup too." Koi Shio finished his soda in one breath and handed him the cup. Watanabe-che held 2 cups and stood at the back of the line. In front of him was a female private school student, with a model like perky buttocks and slender waist. Due to the boredom of queuing, she was passing the time by circling her hair around her fingers. "Yuzao, are you also here for dinner?" The greeting voice was not very energetic, but naturally soft and very pleasant to listen to. Yuzao instinctively turned her head. He is a handsome young man with a delicate appearance, and the other party is also wearing the school uniform of Shinchuan Private School. Even if he doesn't wear the school uniform, Yuzao Haomei knows him. Renowned handsome guy, top student, and poor guy from the countryside at Shinchuan Private School. Although Yuzao dislikes poor people, she really likes their appearance, so she shows a charming smile. "What a coincidence, Watanabe." Watanabe-che happily said, "I'm still preparing to introduce myself, I'm worried that Yuzao may not know me." Yuzao Haomei violated school rules by having her hands with transparent nails and placed them on her seductive lips, saying, "How could that happen? Watanabe, you are the handsome guy from Kamikawa," causing a lot of discussion among girls. "Really? Yuzao is the same among us boys. Hey. Really? What do they say about me?" Most people are curious about how the opposite sex talks about themselves, especially those with good looks. Watanabe-che looked at Yuzao in front of her and thought to herself. Except for Rin Chinya, she probably wouldn't have the time or thoughts to inquire about the opinions of the annoying guys towards her. At this moment, the person in front just finished taking the drink and left. Watanabe-che lowered her voice and said in a beautiful double voice. We are all discussing that Yuzao can spend money to take care of her, but we don't know how much it will cost per month. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Strategy completed. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The source has no content or has errors. Chapter 9. The girl is unbreakable. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. The girl is unbreakable. After the sentence, May, please give me more guidance, Che-jun, a rabbit emoji immediately popped up with its hand reaching towards the screen, which should be a greeting. At 10 o'clock in the evening, Watanabe-che was doing a math problem when her phone on the side vibrated and she received a message with the ID, Coco, online. After he clicked online, he saw the above content. Watanabe-che. Sorry, I am currently studying. 3 seconds later, the message shows, read. Line is really scary, especially with the read feature, and the group will also display how many people have read a certain message, giving the diving party no room for survival. Coco. Che works hard, it's really amazing asterisk, caret o caret, / asterisk Watanabe-che. After all, the test is coming next week, Coco. Then I won't disturb you anymore. Come on. Watanabe-che has put down her phone, but after some thought, she decided to edit a new sentence. You two, let's work hard together. Immediately after receiving an emoji with an inexplicable meaning, Watanabe-che buried her head and continued her studies. Even if it's his second time studying, it's still quite difficult to get the first place in the exam, let alone the fact that Rin Seno, who was originally the first place, has slightly higher intelligence than him. He doesn't insist on winning first place either, he just has a higher goal that will keep him motivated to study hard and get admitted to Tokyo higher education. After finishing a set of chemistry questions, Watanabe-che moved her body and turned off the desk lamp to make the bed to sleep. Every Friday, as a student, Watanabe-che's body naturally becomes excited. Tomorrow she can finally sleep in. Because he is on duty today, he came earlier than usual. When he arrived at school, he could hardly see anyone, but there was already the sound of instruments playing in the department. Despite approaching the test, I still work so hard. Watanabe-che sincerely wishes them good results in the Tokyo Grand Prix and a spot to enter the national competition. He found the beautiful shoe cabinet of Yuzao and put the envelope containing 150,000 yen inside. After finishing this, I breathed a sigh of relief in my heart. Now, he and Yuzao Hame really don't owe each other. Next is the work of the on-duty students. First, I went to the office to find my English teacher, Koizumi Chingnai, who also serves as the class leader. I took the key, opened the classroom door and windows, and confirmed whether the chalk was sufficient. If it's winter or summer, you also need to be responsible for turning on the heating and air conditioning. Adjacent to the test, the teachers who were originally slow in class also slightly accelerated their pace. I'm sure I'll get this question in next week's test. Please remember it well for me. Still asleep? Do you want to go to school? I'll tell you, if you don't achieve ideal results after this exam, you will call your parents over for discussion. Here, you should already know everything, right? Let's take a look below. The morning session ends, and the first class in the afternoon is physical education. The physical education teacher gave a brief demonstration of dribbling, serving, and then the competition. Watanabe-che doesn't understand why there is a competition in every physical education class. Watanabe, look at me with a big buckle. I saw this guy Guijing Xiu take off, straighten his chest, raise his head and abdomen, bend his elbows and lift his body backwards and upwards, forming a reverse arch shape. Watanabe-che struggled to pad the ball and even received a big dunk. Quickly dodge. The volleyball made a loud noise on the ground, then bounced up and collided with the barbed wire around the field. Can you lower your strength? Watanabe-che shouted. On the other side of the net, Koizumi put on a senior posture and said, Listen up, Watanabe. The so-dot called volleyball is to jump up from any position and dunk any ball. Don't use the lines from volleyball boy to show off, you guy. Watanabe-che picked up the ball and hit it out with a standard serving posture. It hurt so much. At the moment when the hand collided with the ball, there was a severe pain, and the volleyball that was thrown with all its might did not cross the net. It bounced weakly on the clear half of Watanabe for a while. Watanabe-che simply raised her hand and said, "I admit defeat. I finally stood on this field, how could it be easily ended?" The classmates who gently pushed volleyball back and forth with their hands beside them have been attracted by the loud voice of Xiu Guojing, and the two have become the focus of attention on the field. Don't say anime lines loudly anymore. It's really unbearable. Is it a secondary illness? At the end of the physical education class and the last class, Watanabe-che was not even handsome enough to turn her pen. She was on duty after school to clean the blackboard, and her wrist trembled slightly when she straightened. That's why he hates exercise. Not only is he sweating all over, but the next day he will also feel so sore that he can't do anything. As for getting used to it slowly. Who needs to get used to this kind of thing, and as long as they don't practice for a period of time, their body will return to its original state. Who dares to guarantee that they can persist? In the future, for physical education classes, let's team up with Saito and think of Watanabe-che on her way to the club building. Opening the sliding door of the club classroom, Qingye Lin's reading appearance seemed to have completely integrated with the indoor scenery. It has become an inseparable fixed decoration in this classroom. No matter what you have, whether you come or not, please explain the reason in advance. The decoration spoke. Sorry, I'm on duty today and came a bit late, Watanabe-che apologized seriously. He himself hates others not being punctual, so he tries not to make them wait. If the other person is late and there is no legitimate reason, he won't say it, but he will still be angry in his heart. Now he is dissatisfied with his behavior and warns himself not to slack off even if it is just to comply with the school's rules for joining clubs. It seems that he didn't lie to avoid it. Rin Sano didn't say whether to forgive or not, but instead said so. Aren't you the one who hates lying? I don't want you to continue hating me either. Watanabe-che closed the sliding door and sat down on the steel chair she found yesterday, hanging her backpack in the corner of the long table. If you can't hold on for a few words and start lying again, I have reason to suspect that you have a personality problem. Watanabe-che, who was accused of having personality problems, denied, "Wait, this is just a joke. It's actually trying to see if you can complete the temporary activity. Even if you can't earn 1 million points, it's still good to have the opportunity to purchase the mind-reading technique first." Qingye Lin remained non-committal, but closed the hardcover book that seemed to be endless and put on a posture of preparing for the meeting. Watanabe Kiyoshi has to admit that a person like Rin Kiyono, who looks so cute, is beautiful and attractive enough even if she doesn't laugh or cooperate with male humor. But rather than appearance, he cares more about how to deceive the other person. He respectfully assumed a serious listening attitude, creating a serious atmosphere of business between the two and laying the groundwork for the next attack. Qingye Lin may not have noticed, or she may have noticed that it was just indifferent, with no change in expression and attitude. She took out a stack of lists and said, "Here are the names of all the members of the literary and art department. Take note of the members of the literary and art society in your own class, family classes, and elective courses, and observe their reactions to you." Family classes are a combination of two classes, while elective courses refer to art, music, and calligraphy, while Watanabe-cho chooses art. Are you serious? Tetsuya Watanabe looked at the thick list, which not only included the name class, but also a photo of herself. Where exactly did you get this kind of thing from? Watanabe-che once again felt the darkness of capitalist society. Even if he formed a club, he wouldn't let go of his personal information. Even if your brain is only enough for testing, at least jotting down the names of your peers is the foundation for the future activities of the Human Observation Department. But I haven't even remembered the names of half of my class members. This statement is exaggerated, it's just that a few very inconspicuous classmates didn't remember it. Then take this opportunity to write down the names of all the students in this school. What? This requirement is outrageous, to the extent that Watanabe-che suspected that he had heard it wrong. As a member of the Human Observation Department, remembering that peers are just the foundation, and remembering all the students in the school is considered qualified. Rin Seino pushed over the list. Is this a joke? The girl gently flicked her neat long straight hair, hugged her chest with both hands, and chuckled and snorted lightly. Okay, it doesn't look like it is. In addition, the game did not send any emails, so it seems that the exaggerated lies have also failed. After observing their attitudes, what he asked while using his brain to memorize what was in his hand. The most proud thing about being defeated is regret, anger, unwillingness, or giving up. Let's take a look at the ratio first. Watanabe-che looked up and said, "How do you feel like you came up with it on the spur of the moment?" "You just need to complete the task I assigned." The girl hugged her arms and cast a cold gaze at her superior. "Okay, whatever you say is what you say." After the sunset dyed the room orange-red, Watanabe Kiyoshi finally remembered the names and appearances of all her peers, and it took over an hour. Why waste such a long time when Friday is just a simple meeting? Is this considered a lie? What is the significance of having everyone join a club due to rigid school rules? Don't you really think that every student will seriously participate in club activities, enjoy their youth, or learn a certain skill from them? Watanabe-che sorted out the list in his hand and said, "I remember everything." Rin Seino, who was reading a book, signaled the direction of the corridor with his chin, meaning he could go straight now. Everyone has come, and so much time has already been wasted. How can we easily give up? Chingye, I will definitely surpass you in this test and win first place. Rin Seino's gaze did not shift from the book. Her tone made it difficult for Bianca to distinguish whether she was wondering why he hadn't left or why he suddenly declared war. Perhaps you don't know, but in fact, I ranked third in the school in terms of admission score. Recently, I have been working hard in my studies and have great confidence in achieving first place. Seino Rin looked at Watanabe Kiyoshi, his tone even colder. Since just now, have you been lying, challenging my patience? I want to make it clear to you that although I don't care about many things, overall I am not good at speaking and have nothing to do with gentleness. If you try to use the foolish trick of kidnapping other female students on me, I advise you to give up. The other party's sudden seriousness made Bianca momentarily lose consciousness, and even reflected on whether he had done something wrong. Sorry, I was just curious and wanted to see if what you said, "You can see through all lies," is true. It doesn't mean anything else. This statement should be true. Watanabe-che is not very confident either. Although he wanted to complete the temporary task, he still doubted Rin Chingye's ability. After all, the supplementary provisions clearly stated that there is no impossible task to complete, so he should have the idea of testing the other party in his heart, right? But now even half-true and half-fake jokes can be exposed. Can they really only be used for medication? But how about always getting such a convenient medicine? A person like you, Seino Rin smiled at the corner of his mouth, terrifyingly without a trace of laughter, is really lying all the time. I lied, just now. With a restrained smile, Rin Chingye said coldly, "Do you mean I can lie?" Ah, I no longer understand myself. This is Watanabe-che's thoughts at this moment. I think you can do a lie detector to help the police solve cases, he sincerely suggested. No matter how hard one tries, how much can one change this world? And, my career direction doesn't need you to worry about it. Rin Kiyoshi withdrew her cold gaze and said, "Can you please leave? The smell of lies on you makes me very uncomfortable. The stench of lies. Alright, I'll leave today." Subsequently, the girl politely thanked her, causing Watanabe-che to almost suspect that she had a foul odor on her body. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. 10 Decision to be a handsome Tokyo man in this world. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Decide to be a handsome Tokyo guy in this world. The monthly test has ended and we will enter the short and long holiday, commonly known as Golden Week, from April 29th to May 5th. Watanabe-che went to Beijing on a day when cherry blossoms were in full bloom. In the blink of an eye, the cherry blossoms had withered and the trees were covered with emerald green leaves. A month had passed. It should be time to transplant rice seedlings in my hometown. Every year during this season, Watanabe Kiyoshi's parents go out to plant rice seedlings at 4 a.m. Except for returning at noon to rest for a while, they spend the rest of the day in the fields. When he was young, his parents loved him because of his intelligence, and he was asked to stay at home to read or play if he wanted to help. When he grew up a bit, he bought a rice transplanter in the village, and his physical strength was also exhausted. He couldn't even help weed. Unable to bend down for a long time, the sharpness of weeds can easily cut through his skin, leeches greedily suck on his blood, and gadflies hover over his head, causing annoyance. Actually, I can still grow potatoes. The more she thought about it, the more she felt that she was useless except for reading, and Watanabe-che defended herself. Although planting potatoes only requires cutting them into pieces, digging holes, burying them, and then picking up dead leaves from the mountains to spread on top. Before the holiday, Watanabe-che talked to her family on the phone and agreed to stay in Tokyo to work during this Golden Week, and then go back after the summer vacation. Wearing her private clothes, Watanabe-che took the tram to the intersection of Shinjuku Street and found the Walgo clothing store where she worked. Is it called Watanabe-che? Your job is to stand at the intersection in front and hold up the billboard. If you're tired, you can take a break, but it shouldn't be too long. Do you understand? Understood. The crossroads where the Walsong clothing store is located is the entrance to a street of Shinjuku bars. Standing here, you can observe almost all the women entering and exiting. Just hold up a few hours of billboards. Watanabe-che originally wanted to find a job in traffic volume survey. Sitting there, counting pedestrians and vehicles using counters, but unfortunately, there are not such coincidental things in the world. There are part-time jobs for traffic volume surveys, but they are not located at this street corner. If a student stays near a red light area without looking for a job, they will definitely be questioned by the police. And while searching for people and working, he can still earn money, with only over 4,000 yen left on him. This kind of hard work earns much more than mall employees. Although he has points that can be exchanged for a lot of money, he wants to save them to exchange for intelligence, stamina, and charm. In addition, there are still 2 days until May, and maybe he will have the skills he wants. Watanabe-che held up a billboard and stood at the bustling intersection. Apart from him, there are already guys wearing doll clothes distributing flyers here, and these people are doing the same job. There are many people coming and going, and it is not realistic to use a detector for every woman who passes by. Not young, not beautiful, not single, and not dressed openly enough. Handsome guy, should we go to the coffee shop together? Hey. Xinghue, this handsome little guy looks like a private school student at first glance. As long as you're handsome, maybe you're still a virgin. Watanabe-che looked at the woman in front of him who was approaching him. Her shirt was open, her collarbone was boldly exposed, very tempting, and she looked pretty. Character. Yuki Kuroda, charm. 5 past. Sorry, I am currently working. If you need to buy clothes, please visit Walmart. After speaking, Watanabe-che bowed and walked away. Unexpectedly deceived by makeup techniques. According to his estimation, there should be 6 points of charm. The woman named Yuki Kuroda wanted to follow her, but was pulled away by her companions who were shouting, "There are police officers here." The female high school student, dressed up as a maid and distributing flyers, smiled and said, it's really popular. I just want to work quietly, said Watanabe-che with a bitter smile. This female student from a higher education institution has been looking for opportunities to talk to him since the first meeting just now. Is sibling love popular in Tokyo? Or is it just about being handsome? Growing up in a remote village, with 5 teachers and students from all ages, Watanabe-che has never been so popular before. After arriving in Tokyo, there were various love letters and conversations. He suddenly remembered a line from the previous Shin Hai-ching movie, Your Name. In the afterlife, please let me be a handsome guy from Tokyo. Perhaps the life of a handsome man in Tokyo is already like this. Is it just him making a fuss? You need to adapt well to your new identity. Standing with sore legs and unable to lift arms, Watanabe-che used up 3 opportunities but couldn't find a single target. He has tried his best to select the most attractive woman to use the detector. Except for Yuki Kuroda, who just started chatting up, who has 5 points of charm, the other 2 have 6 points and 7 points, but both show pass. I don't know if it's necessary to achieve 8 points of charm, or if there are other hidden conditions that need to be met besides charm. Send the billboard back to the store and receive today's salary. Normally, it won't be settled on a daily basis, but temporary workers during the Golden Week can handle it. I worked for 4 hours, a total of 5,200 yen. An hourly salary of 1,300 yen is considered very high, but the job responsibilities are also quite demanding. Watanabe-che felt that if she continued this job, it would only be a matter of time before her physical strength increased to 4 or even 5 o'clock. However, he is still too naive and underestimates this society. Women in society, especially those who go to Shinjuku bars, have excellent makeup skills and generally have a higher level of appearance than before. With his level of femininity that cannot be seen without makeup, coming here to find strategic targets is a waste of points and time. It's better to go to a private school, as makeup is strictly prohibited. No matter how beautiful a girl is, she only dares to put on light makeup and dye her hair a little brighter. The 1,000 points spent on the detector, including the money spent on buying bento at night. Lunch provided by the clothing store, actually resulted in a loss of over 9,000 yen in a day. So for the next 6 days of Golden Week, except for a trip to Akihabara in the middle with Koishio and Saito Huejia, Watanabe-che was working and studying, no longer wasting points at Shinjuku Kabuki. During the early morning of May 1st, the game mall was refreshed. Items. Detector, 1 piece/1000, healing medicine, 1 pill/1000, money. 100 yen/1 point, intelligence. 1 point/1000000 points, charm. 1 point/10,000 points, physical strength. 1 point/5,000 points, skills. Beginner. Flower arrangement, 100, mastery. Cooking, 1,000, mastery. Driving, 10,000, master. Free fighting, 1000000. Watanabe-che carefully studied the newly added item, healing medicine. As its name suggests, it can only heal injuries, not illnesses. But it's also good, as long as you don't die immediately and have points, you can survive. Article 1. The player's death has nothing to do with this game, and there is no obligation to resurrect. It always gives him the feeling that this is not a simple love game. In short, be prepared for any risks. Next are the 5 skills for this month, except for the repetition of cooking, the remaining 4 are all new skills. Watanabe-che is very interested in master level, free combat. No man is not interested, right? Even if you don't actively fight and cause trouble, being good at fighting is always better than not being good. As the saying goes, a gentleman hides his tools in his body. There must be someone who doesn't offend me, and if someone offends me, I need the confidence of his life. There is also a mastery level, cuisine. According to the explanation in the appendix, it is enough to cook a good dish, and he can also bid farewell to the convenience store. If you can't finish eating, you can take it to school to make lunch and save some money. Wait. Rather than saving money, it's more important to save points. What if there are better skills next time? For example, free combat and free combat. Master level, free combat, Watanabe really wants it. He has enough reason to suspect that the game is tempting him to be a scumbag and work hard to earn points. On May 3rd at 7 p.m. Number of check.in days. Yuzao Haume 1 week, players receive a check.in gift package, money 100,000 yen, 50% off charm exchange coupon. Player's charm must be below 10 points and can only be redeemed for 1 point, charm can be exchanged for 10,000 points, and even with a 50% discount, it costs 5,000 points. He currently only has 4,000 points left, and he still needs to continue redeeming the detector. Otherwise, you can exchange some for further education on the road of Tokyo Handsome Guy. May 6th, the first day of returning to school. In the morning class, both teachers and students have a restless feeling that they have not yet separated from their holiday life. At noon, the school bulletin board posted the monthly test rankings. Are you going to take a look? Saito Keisuke said to the other two. What's so beautiful about that thing? Koi Shio sneered. From their conversation, we can roughly estimate their usual ranking. Saito Keisuke has the ability to compete for the top 20 in the entire school, which is the number of people who have been admitted to top universities in the past at Shinkawa Private School, while the name of Koi Shio needs to be searched from the back. Watanabe thought for a moment and said, let's wait for 20 minutes. There are too many people going now and we can't squeeze in. In the second half of the 20-minute lunch break, whether it's the cafeteria, bakery, or bulletin board, the crowded crowd will disperse. Okay. Saito Keisuke nodded and agreed, then took out his phone and shared a game with the two of them. I've been playing this game all along, I advise you not to fall into the trap, said Shuji Koi. Why? Asked Keisuke Saito curiously. I suspect it's false advertising. SSR is not even in the card pool. This is your bad luck, isn't it? Watanabe smiled. Nonsense. How could I have bad luck? Guijing Shio firmly believed that it was the game company's problem. By the way, Watanabe recalled from her family class, Koi, how are you and Naomi Yamaguchi doing? Guijing Shio smiled smugly and shyly, hee, I've been chatting online every day lately. You guy. Remember to treat him. Saito Keisuke punched him. What treat? Are you trying to cheat? Didn't you agree? Whoever has a girlfriend will be treated. No problem. Watanabe is very quiet at this time. He and Yuzao are so beautiful. Shouldn't that count? After chatting for a while, the three of them got up and went to the bulletin board on the first floor, where 3 or 4 students were gathered. Watanabe starts looking from the front. Rank 1, name. Rin Chingya, okay. Rank 2, name. Meiji Jicheng, Rank 3, name. Watanabe fortunately, we managed to maintain our original ranking. Obviously, he works so hard. If he loses his place, he will really carry his bags back to his hometown and kneel down in front of his hardworking parents. Saito Keisuke admired and said, how impressive, Watanabe. If you keep in the top 5, you can directly recommend admission to Tokyo higher education. Maintaining this strength all the time, there's no need to recommend admission, said Watanabe nonchalantly. Saito Keisuke nodded and said, that's true. What is your ranking? I thought I did well in the exam, but ended up in 31st place. I plan to go back and discuss with my parents to consider enrolling in a tutoring class. Starting to enroll in tutoring classes now. Step by step falling behind, the supervisor of Koizumi also said, it's important from the beginning. Watanabe-che nodded and looked at Koizumi, who had been silent for a long time. Koi, how did you do on the exam? Guijing said with a mournful expression, 121 people. There are a total of 4 classes, each with 40 students, and 121 students are considered to be behind. Watanabe-che patted his shoulder and said, don't give up. The 3 of us didn't do well in this test. Let's work together and strive for progress in the next test. You didn't do well in the exam. Koizumi looked angrily at Watanabe-che, and his loud voice attracted passers-by. Guijing, during the Golden Week, I understand a truth. Humans have limits, don't you plan on being human anymore? Watanabe-che shook his head and said seriously, as a handsome guy from Tokyo, even if I can't achieve first place, I have to keep improving to be charming. Get lost. End of this chapter.